stop whatever was happening. Maybe it was just the fact that he resisted at all was enough to break that.
Because it was his, so he could be like, nah, it's mine, bitch.
Right.
And just like, that's just the way it works.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I just know any sort of resistance to the Namble means that the magic it does not, like, move.
Okay.
So it's different, obviously, for Richard, but maybe that's what it was. Just that retraction at all of his power is enough to break this spell.
Well, I mean, okay, it is, like, semi-powerful, because it does give an impact to the air, and it sends them flying away from each other, like a fucking action movie. Richard's separated from his sword. It's, like, intense.
Did you hear that? That explosion was loud!
Liliana...
What? I'm sorry.
So Liliana raises from the ground, all creepy-like, and Richard is upset because he trusted her. Like, how dare you? She tells him that is why they were doing it the easy way, and now she has to skin his ass.
Fun.
Yeah. A sword randomly floats out from the forest to her hand, and she runs at him.
Okay, so aside from the scariness of being charged with a sword, my brain switched stories to a certain specific set of movies, and in about 2 seconds, I'm going to tell you what that was, and I think you'll understand. Right? Richard, he holds his hand out, and he is able to use magic, telekinesis, to float his sword out to him. This is fucking Star Wars! These are the Jedi Masters about to battle, and they're like, just holding their hand out, and their lightsabers there.
Give me
like,
my shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what this was. And it's the best, by the way. That's fucking cool.
Yeah. No, it's really awesome. He feels the spirits of the sword immediately, and the dance with death begins, and it's a super epic scene. Yeah. Liliana's magic makes her like a fucking shadow, and somehow her sword is like the sword of truth, since it stands up to it.
Yeah, we know the sword can cut through anything. It can cut through butter just as well as it'll cut through iron, right? It's just based off the intent of the user. So there's something about Liliana's sword that makes Richard's sword actually clang up against it instead of just cut it in half, which it should do.
Okay, I didn't know which part of the episode I wanted to bring this up on, but I just don't... The whole sword thing, I was like, what? Why is there a sword in the woods? Did she stash that there earlier?
Probably. I'm assuming she knew this might go bad and she was going to have, like, a backup plan just in case.
Why is it the equal to the Sword of Truth?
I don't know that, and I also don't know something that happens at the end of this chapter Richard does with the sword.
Okay, we'll keep talking about it then.
That makes no sense either.
We'll keep talking about it then, but I was just like, what?
That's weird.
Richard is able to kill the thing that we are assuming is the Namble, and it disappears, like, whoosh.
It disintegrates.
Yes. Liliana starts using her magic, which would have been my first move. Again, that's why I was like, wait, she's like crazy magic powerful person. Why do we like just zap?
I mean, I'm with you. Magic seems more powerful than sword, but like magic sword is better than regular sword. So if you have your pick of all three, obviously start with the magic.
I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe wait till the end to pull out the magic sword if the magic wasn't working.
Plus, you know Richard is really good with swords. So, yeah, use the ranged weapon. Don't get up close to that guy.
Yes!
He can't shoot fireballs alone yet. You know this.
Right.
So, like, yeah, definitely.
He doesn't have his bow right now. You didn't tell him to bring that shit out there, so you're fine. The fire she sends his way doesn't hit him, and she goes back to using the sword. Richard uses the spirits to see the best way to attack, because apparently she's not super great with the sword. She's kind of shitty. Because, again, I don't understand where the sword came from. She's not like a soul. She's a fucking sister. Okay, anyways. But
For having this planned out, I think what you're saying, she didn't have it very well planned out.
No, okay. But when he tries to, like, jab her, the sword seems to slide to the side. Like, he can't find purchase, even when he's like, that would have fucking hit. That was a fucking headshot.
Like when your kid's playing guns outside or in the basement. Hey, that's not fair. I shot you. Lay down.
Or when you're playing a video game and you like fucking, you know you got the shot, but the game doesn't register it. And you're like, and you're like, fuck you.
That's happened to us all. And it's bullshit. So Richard tries to get Liliana to see that the Keeper is just lying when he makes her promises, and she tells him to join them, and he will see. Again, Star Wars. Join the dark side, motherfucker.
See, Richard at this point dramatically yells back, "Never!"
Oh.
And it made me think of that scene in Harry Potter when Harry's talking to Quirrell, and he's like, "Never!" And it's like that whole thing. It was very similar.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, come to the dark side. I will never be part of the dark side.
You can learn how to do the call your lightsaber thing. I already know how to do that. I'm good, bro.
I don't need you.
Got my blue blade. Fuck your red one.
At this point, Liliana's getting bored, so she shoots the black lightning at him. Like, we've gone up a notch here.
Again, Star Wars. Moving on, sorry.
It is Orden Black, and he knows that he is seeing subtractive magic at this point. Which means that bitch was lying when she said she didn't have it, so she couldn't get his collar off. I know, it's kind of dumb to point it out in light of all the other lies. Like, I get that's like a small thing, like, obviously. But I was just like, I would have been frustrated when I saw it. I'd be like, you do have subtractive magic, you bitch.
You could have done this the whole time. God damn it.
You didn't need that fucking... Oh, you were lying about all of it, weren't you?
So the lightning cuts the stone from underneath him and making him fall down a hill, and Liliana ends up standing over him, about to cut his legs off, when Richard decides his only chance is to give in to whatever is inside him and just let it guide him. For Jade and I, that's beer. And it's time for the beer break. That worked perfectly. What's inside you, Bada Sixer? Let's go.
We are, again, drinking Brewdog beers. I think it was a holiday pack that we got.
Yep.
That is grossly filled with IPAs. I'm just saying, it's overly stuffed with IPAs. And it might have been an IPA pack, and I just still. It's another IPA night.
I'm kind of determined to find at least one IPA that you like. Just one. And the
Cherry IPA from Perrin, which doesn't exist.
Yeah, they don't make it anymore, but we got to find one that they do make so you can enjoy it. The downside of that is that there's going to be a whole lot of ones you don't like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm drinking them, okay? So they're not terrible. There are beers I won't drink because they're bad. These are, palatable, and I'm sure people who like IPAs probably like them a lot. However, I'm drinking Brewdog Elvis Juice. It's grapefruit-infused IPA with natural citrus flavors. I mean, I think that the grapefruit always doesn't really help with the bitterness. I think we discovered this last week.
Yeah, it gives it like the Rhiney flavor. This one has a lot of fruit in it too. It's Hazy Jane, also from Brewdog. But same, I don't really taste the fruitiness. I taste the bitter, that's there all day long. But the fruit they're talking about is like what's that gum that came in the yellow pack?
Are you talking about Juicy Fruit?
Juicy Fruit, yeah. And it tastes like Juicy Fruit after like 5 minutes of chewing the same stick.
Oh.
It's just kind of like, there's flavor, but it's not like flavor.
I just don't understand why you would pick this to drink if you had other things to drink. I'm nothing against people who enjoy it. I just don't understand, I think.
Well, that's why we've been trying a couple more of these IPAs to try and understand. I know I like this. I'm not crazy about it. It wouldn't be my first pick either. But if offered, sure, I could drink it without going, yeah, what the fuck are you drinking?
Right,
you
same,
know? But yeah, it's not going to be my go-to either.
But people go to the store and they pick them.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Again, nothing against you. I just don't... Our tongues are different.
I think mine has to do with the fact that I drank Bud Light happily for a long time, because it's really the only thing I knew about. And so, like, there was a time where I was just like, fuck yeah, Bud Light. It tastes good. And so I can pivot that onto this a little bit, even though I know there's better.
Yeah, okay. Well...
And on top of that, I wanted to say, I'm not really trying to shit on Brewdog, and I don't think Jade is either.
No.
I think they're probably both great beers, but they're just not our style.
Yeah, no. That's all it is. That's why I'm saying, I'm sure if we had an IPA drinker here with us tonight, they would probably be like, you guys are crazy. We don't, though.
So, here we are. Well, I think we're going to finish these up, and we'll be back right after this. Hey guys, Nate from All the Things, and I want to talk to you a little bit about 4 Acre Freedom. So 4 Acre Freedom is a family-owned and operated one-stop shop for everything that you're probably already looking for. They've got vinyl-laid shirts, they've got hoodies, and don't forget your beer koozies. Those are, like, essential. We have some, actually, with the All the Things logo on it, and they look pretty sick, just saying. They've got custom-made rings and jewelry, which Jade and I also have, and they're fucking badass. We got these ones, you guys. It's like stainless steel, but then there's a core. Jade's has like meteorite in it. I think mine's got like dinosaur bone in it, and they glow, and it's like, they're fucking cool. I can't do it justice with a microphone. You guys really have to see it. Again, we are going to post these on our Facebook page so you guys can get a better look at them. They're awesome. He can do custom woodwork and signs. Like, you want a badass grace or a quote, or even like a picture of something from the book, he can do that. He's got a thing that just like, it'll etch it all out onto wood, real fucking cool. You get exactly what you want every single time. He can do leather work. You want a custom sheath for your knife, or perhaps your sword of truth. You need a new belt. He can do that too. I mean, you could put those two things together and probably make a scabbard. Just saying. And also they have farm-to-table bread, candies, and confections, which are delicious. I have tried them. Look, here's the thing. Everything they do is of the best quality. And it's all literally handmade. This is not that kind of shop that just buys a bunch of shit cheap online and then you get cheap stuff for a little bit more. No. The value is there. The quality is there. Everything they do is awesome, and you should check them out for yourself. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and of course, you can check them out at 4acrefreedom.com. High quality, handmade.
And we're back. So, Richard's not in a great spot underneath Liliana, who's about to chop his fucking legs off. The Sword of Truth ends up thrusting into Liliana's ribs after Richard gives in to his inner magic.
And the sword is doing the thing.
Oh, the glowy thing, yeah.
The glowy thing.
He tells her that he forgives her as a ripple of darkness sweeps over them and she dies. He had turned the blade white on instinct this time, and it surprised him. And me.
Well, I think all of us were a bit surprised. I was under the impression that this required an actual emotional, like, acceptance of forgiving somebody. And it had to, I don't know, for me, like, when you tell your kids to say sorry, like, you have to mean it. You have to mean it. Otherwise, it doesn't count. And if it doesn't count because it's all intention-based, then it wouldn't glow. And
also, it hurts, like, a lot, doesn't it? Because you, like, feel their worst. I don't remember the specific, but it's like a big thing. When he killed Denna, it was like a big thing.
Well, it's a thing that shouldn't happen just like that. It hasn't before. That's not how we understood it.
But it was instinctual. His magic works instinctual.
So we're learning that his magic can just turn it white.
Yeah, just
super sword.
Well,
sorry, I was just going to make another Star Wars reference, and I think I've made my point, so.
But also, apparently the reason it happened, and the reason he didn't have to, like, inwardly actually forgive her, because he didn't, why would you? It's because the counter to the Keeper's hate is forgiveness?
Well, we know that love, in some forms, can, like, break magic, right? So that's a bond between two people, so maybe in the same vein of thought, there's something about forgiveness, which obviously there has to be, because that's what turns the blade white. My thing is, before, he had to mean the forgiveness, and this time he's just like, yeah, I forgive you, and then it turns white.
Yeah.
Whether or not he actually felt it. And I think maybe that's him having more control over his ability. Maybe that's how the sword turns white initially. You know, you have to be able to learn that function, and you have to be able to actually forgive somebody and turn the blade white, but now you're just able to do it. Probably like Richard called